What's up, everyone? Welcome to Bluegrass State of Mind, the show where three college roommates talk life, sports, and all the ridiculous things that happen in an apartment we like to refer to as Room 302. We're bringing you stories, hot takes, and the kind of late-night debates that probably should have stayed in the group chat.
So grab your headphones, sit back, and get ready for a wild ride through our past college life, sports, and everything in between. Let's get into it. This is Bluegrass State of Mind.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bluegrass State of Mind. Fellas, we got some big news, exciting news. Oweh, 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 Oweh. Oweh is returning for his second season and final season at Kentucky. Kind of gave us a scare there, fellas. Waited till the last day. Kept all of BBN on their toes. We are returning a all-SEC second team guy. We're returning a 16.2 points per game, 4.7 rebounds per game guy. And honestly, we're building our foundational guy, I think. I'm excited. I think Oweh, he really felt the love of BBN. And I think that, obviously, in all the mock drafts, nobody had him going in the first round, not probably where he wants to be. But more importantly than that, I think that he had a home with Kentucky. And then, I think that plays a big factor. I mean, in coming back, like, is it worth it? And then also, that's not even to mention the NIL money that he's going to get. I mean, that also is a big factor. So, there's a lot of things we can break down, but I just want to hear y'all's initial thoughts. Then we can maybe talk about some other guys, maybe not from Kentucky, that kind of was surprising that they're returning or who did go and stay in the draft. But Colton, we'll take it away. How big is that for this Kentucky team moving into next season?
Yeah, it's huge. And, outside of, I just got to thinking, Oscar Tshiebwe was about the only guy that I can really recall in the Cal era that was the best player on the previous year's team that returned, right? Other than Tshiebwe, I can't think of a time when the Cal's best player on his team actually come back, right? And to me, Oweh was their best player for sure. Consistently throughout the year, he was their best player.
Yep.
And so,
well, he stayed healthy too. That's a big thing moving into next season.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's just huge, and that's just something that Big Blue Nation hasn't got to feel a lot, right? And that's one of those things that they were excited kind of with Pope, because maybe you will get to see some of these players be 2 or 3 year guys. Obviously, the NIL helps. Where back in Cal's early times, those guys that would have been like an Oweh, they would have went ahead and just went to the draft. But now that they can make as much money if they're not going to make the first round, you think about how many guys went into the second round of Cal's that had the NIL been there, probably would have come back, right? But so it definitely is making a difference. But it's just huge for Kentucky because a lot of these guys we're bringing in are wild cards, right? And he's the one thing that we really should know what we're getting. And he's going to have a year under his belt of playing in that environment, being in that program, knowing what it's going to take to be a leader. You take all those seniors that were on the team, so he was around them. He's going to be leading a group of a lot of younger type guys, right? Guys that have been in college, but we're not bringing in a bunch of seniors, but they're guys that are sophomores, juniors, and so I'm excited just to see what, I think you had to have him, right? I think it was the missing, everyone was pretty much, pretty confident he was going to come back, but had he not, the team looked a lot different. It was going to look a lot different if he hadn't. So I think he makes a huge impact, and I'm excited now. I definitely think this is a top 10 team with him on the roster. So I'm excited.
Yeah, Mason, what are your thoughts on Oweh returning?
Yeah, obviously huge to getting back for our roster, like Colton said. I feel like that was probably the missing piece we needed. He's likely going to be the heart and soul of this team, the leader of this team, some of the things Colton said. But the one thing surprised me, he was having workouts up until the night before, and then he even had one I think the morning of before he had to announce whether he was coming back or going to the draft. So like you said, Colton, I think there towards the end, some of us got a little weary, but I think in the end, he didn't have what he wanted, and obviously I think he made the right decision coming back. As far as NIL goes, he'll make just as much here or more than he would in the second round of the NBA draft.
But Mason, I do
But
want to touch on that when you're saying how he even maybe had a workout the morning of and whatnot. But
mhm,
so I think of that eh, as, and that's a reason why a lot of people were still nervous. But if you put yourself in his shoes, like first off, there's nobody on campus right now. So if he does come back and let's say he made his decision way earlier than all these other guys, I mean, what's he going to do? He's going to be at on campus working out
mhm,
on his own. Like there's not going to be anything going on. And then also you got to think of it this way as well, is like he's going ahead and building and establishing those relationships for next year. Like why not if the Los Angeles Lakers want to fly me out to do a workout? Why not do that? Like if they're going to pay for everything, because I'm sure they do a lot of the payment for these guys, or if the Philadelphia 76ers want to pay for me to come work out, why not go ahead and, get in with the guys and kind of build those relationships? So, um, I know exactly what you're talking about as well, because there was a lot of people talking like, why is he having a workout today? This is not good, blah, 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 blah. But I mean, like if take advantage of every situation, every road that you have. I mean, I don't blame you at all for taking these workouts to the last minute. I mean, I think deep down he had his decision made, but why not? I mean, that you're not going to lose anything by doing that.
And I still had his dreads in the video.
that's what I was about to say. Yeah. I mean, in the video he posted, he still had his dreads, and I was like, when did he record this? Like
Right.
he's probably known for a while, but like you said, Dylan, I mean, why not do it? One, it gives you the opportunity to just go through this process one time and get the feel of it. I'm sure it's demanding. You're anxious, you're nervous going into it your first time, but he's already been through it once now. So next year, he knows exactly what to expect. He knows what he needs to do. All these teams have probably told him what he needs to work on. If he wants to be a first round pick. So I agree, Dylan. I mean, I don't blame him at all for taking it until the very end. Go work out in front of these guys and see what they say and what you need to improve on, and then go fix it. So
Yeah. So, enough of Oweh, because I mean everybody gets it. We're excited, but let's also talk about some of the other guys that we've talked a little bit about in our text message about who was some surprisers. I want to go ahead and start off with. I was very surprised Auburn's guard Pettiford coming back. I mean, talk about. I mean, he was the only 5-star recruit that they had. Um, I think Pettiford's a great player. I do. I think that given Broom being the star, that the breakout star he was this year, I think Pettiford kind of took a seat back at times. I do think he was capable of taking over some games. He has the shot, he has the ball handling, he can create his own. His height maybe hurts him a little bit, but that was one that I did not see, because in most of the mock drafts that I had seen before,
first round, right?
yeah, he was in the first round.
Yeah.
Now it may have been later first round, but the majority of the ones that I was looking at had him going the first round. So I was really, really shocked at that one. Did that take any of you? Either one of y'all surprised?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely did me. Like you said, everything I had seen was he was, pretty much in first rounders for all the mock drafts that I had looked at. So, I mean, that's just another thing to point out about, this NIL. It's changing the college landscape. Like we talked about, you're going to start seeing these guys who maybe a late first rounder, early second, mid second, come back and develop and get better, and then go in the next year. So it's just changing the college landscape, like you said, Colton. I mean, when's the last time we had one of the best or the best player on our team come back? I mean, Auburn, Janai Broom did last year, but Pettiford, he was a 5-star first round pick, and he's coming back again. So it's just changing the landscape. It'll be interesting to see what happens, going forward with some of these guys in the future. But kind of makes me excited, get to develop a little bit of a relationship with some of these players and watch them grow and learn. So
Colin, what was the one guy that's coming back that took you by surprise?
To me, it was probably Boogie Flan. Just because he's that type. I know that you didn't get to see a lot of him because of the injury, but he was just one of those classic, like, when you did watch him, he was like, I don't know that he's going to have the NBA type of game, right? Like, he's going to be able to get his own shot eventually. He's going to be able to do that type of style, and what I don't know if it's considered. I mean, it's not as weak as the year before's draft, but the lower half of this draft is not very good. And so to me, I thought Fland. Now I know he wasn't getting a lot of love, like he was getting late first round, early second round. But to me, off potential wise, he would have been one of those guys that off of like Cal's roster, he would have left and like you'd have thought he was probably going to be a top 20 pick. So I was surprised by that a little bit. He's probably the one that I was surprised that left. Now, obviously, he went to Florida. So, I mean,
Well, that's what I'm going to bring up as well. If
Florida's
nobody's going to say
reloading
it, you have
and
Alex
they got their
Condon from Florida
they got
who's
their
coming
big man
back.
back. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, what a stacked league again.
Yep. Gonna be tough. Alabama got Phylon back. He was supposed to be a projected first round pick.
And the guard from Houston.
Yeah, he's coming back as well.
Uzan. And did you see where then that one guy left Houston because as soon as he come back, the guy come from Creighton and he went to Texas A&M.
Yep.
It's also a little. I mean, we don't need to get into this too much, but talking about Boogie Fland transferring, I feel like it's just a new era of basketball. There's not many times that you have guys transfer in the same conference. Like I feel like most of the time guys who transfer, they want a fresh start, but you're talking about guys who are now transferring who have played multiple minutes transferring to an in-conference team. I mean, you just think Denzel, or is Aberdeen, what's his first name?
Yeah.
We took a Alabama player, a Florida player.
Diabate. Yeah, like it's like what?
Yep.
It's a little odd. It really is, because I mean, is there more to it than what we're looking at, you think? I mean, or is it just the money?
It's the money of the SEC, man.
Yep.
Well, regardless, it's going to be another exciting year, and I was telling one of our buddies, I am so pumped for basketball season already. I feel like this roster is the roster, we needed. In order to make a deep run. We've got experience. We've got athleticism. We maybe not have as much shooting. Yeah, we have depth. We may not have as great as shooting as we did last year. But then again, we was talking about this, over and over and over. We talked about how Pope said, I want to get up 33s. And we didn't even get up 33s. We got up like 23 to 25 a game. So I think we'll be okay. I'm excited for next season. Pope done a very good job. Now he's just got to take that next phase and kind of juggle on how he's going to mix these lineups in. Well, let's shift gears to the NBA playoffs. So last night, the Thunder closed out their series in the Western Conference, beating the Minnesota Timberwolves 4-1. Currently, right now, the Knicks just defeated the Pacers to make that series 3-2. They will go to the Indianapolis again for Game 6. I was looking up, you talk about the Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander could be the first ever MVP to possibly win a title and win the MVP since 2015-16 Steph. Man, I don't know if y'all watched any of that series, but I've watched a lot of that series, and the Thunder's defense is just so good. Like, I mean, it is. They were talking about the commentators. They were talking about, like, usually most NBA teams, you have 1 to 2 lockdown defenders. And he's like, these guys have like 5 to 6 guys who you just do not want to see on a nightly basis. And they are up in your grill the entire game. Have either one of y'all had a chance to watch any of that series?
Go ahead, Kobe.
Yeah. Man, Thunder are built perfect. If you could build a team, that's how you build it, off of a star who can score, and you add in a couple pieces that have the capability of doing like 20 to 30-point nights, like the Jalen Williams or Holmgren on good nights. And then they built the rest of their team off of really, really good role players. guys. You had 3 or 4 that like Caruso,
And they
defensive
know their
specialist.
role. That's the
Right,
most important thing.
Caruso
Yep.
come in, defensive specialist. Right, you like Dort, same thing. Like, knock down a shot, play hard defense. That's it. Like he's not out there to control the ball. He's not out there to try to drive and make buckets. He's there to shoot an open three and guard defense. And that's Havenstein that comes off the bench for Holmgren. Like his job is to go in there and just play like rough ball. Like that's it. And so they built a bunch of role players surrounded by a couple stars, and that's an ideal lineup. They're deep. They play both ways, which you don't see a lot in the NBA anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean they're. I mean, I don't know. I don't think either of these teams coming out of the East can beat them. But I fully expect them to win it all.
Mason, question for you.
Okay.
So the Thunder have an average age of 24.7, the youngest by far in the league. It was younger than some college basketball teams. You have Shea, who's 26, Chet Holmgren, 23, Jalen Williams, 24, Dort, 26, Hartenstein, 27, Casey Wallen, 21. I think Crusoe's the oldest one, and he's like 32 or something maybe. If they go on to win the NBA championship, are we possibly starting to see a new dynasty? You think of, at first it was kind of the Heat. I mean, for our
The
age,
Celtics a little
well,
bit.
I'm going to say Celtics. Yeah, but I mean, you could
Ray
say
Allen
even before that, though, you
Garnett
could go
and
Lakers.
Lakers.
You could go
Yep.
Celtics after that. Then you have probably the Heat. Then you have the Warriors.
Warriors.
And then from then on, it's kind of been a mixed match of a bunch of teams. But is this our next dynasty-looking team for the NBA? How's this shape? What's this going to look like for the next 4 years?
I mean, I think it is. Like you said, they have the youngest team in the league right now. Yes, they have some guys that they're probably going to have to pay here in the upcoming, couple years maybe. Some of these guys, but I think the biggest thing for me that thinks that this is turning into a dynasty. I saw a stat the other day, or saw somebody post something the other day. I think they have 20 draft picks in the next 5 years.
I have 1 or 2 first rounders this year.
Yeah, they have 2 this year. I think they have 2 the next year. So I mean, just think about that. Some of these guys are going to need to get paid. Maybe they trade, just keep loading up on draft picks. I mean, it seems like they've done a great job evaluating potential coming out of the draft here recently. They didn't draft SGA, but they got him in a trade. Chet Holmgren. Some of these younger guys that they've drafted, it seems like their front office is doing a good job of evaluating that talent and making sure that they're a fit for that particular style and program that they're trying to run there. So I think with what they have now and how young they are and what they have in the future potentially with draft picks or just the value of those draft picks getting players, absolutely, I think we're looking at a dynasty over the next, 3, 4 years potentially, until SGA gets past his peak age.
Well, and it's exciting because I think it's exciting in the sense that when I think of the Warriors, you think of Steph and how he wows you with his shooting. When you think of LeBron with the Heat, he was just a dominant species. Inside the paint, just being able to do anything he wants, rough him up. But with this Thunder team, there's really no the entire makeup. Like even Shea, if you watch his game, there's nothing that's like wows you about his game. At least I don't think. I mean, other than the fact his mid range is spectacular, but he's not just a knockdown shooter everywhere. As far as just a pure shooter, he doesn't. He's not shifty, crazy, but he's just really really good in every area. And you talk about the other pieces of that team, the Chet Holmgren, the Jalen Williams, the Hartensteins, the Casey Wallace, all those guys, like Colton say, they know their roles, and that's that's the secret ingredient. If you want a team to be successful in anything, you have your 2 or 3 main guys, and then you fill it up with guys who know their role, and if they start to get a little hungry for something else, then it's time to ship them off, because that's not the foundation. That's not how you're going to succeed. So I think I love watching the Thunder. I think they're very exciting to watch. Any more thoughts on them?
Nope.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the Pacers and Knicks. So, fun fact here: so the Oklahoma City Thunder have never won an NBA championship. If you do want to kind of get more specific, you could say the Supersonics, which is what they were before that. They did, but the Oklahoma City Thunder has never won, and neither has the Indiana Pacers. And that's a potential matchup that we could see as the Pacers lead the series 3-2. But I'm going to throw out one of my hot takes, and then I'm going to hand it over to y'all. So this is going to a game 6. I think the Knicks are going to pull this out, and they're going to come back 3-1. I do. Uh, I think that the Pacers have, the Pacers got a game 1, and that was it. Other than that, they outplayed them in games 2 and 3, and that was it. I think the Knicks have outplayed the Pacers majority of this series. It's just been one of those games or two where it's just like momentum completely changes whenever it's the worst time that it needs. But that's a hot take, I know, because they'd be coming down 3-1. It has happened. So the Cavs come back down 3-1 to best team ever assembled.
Yep,
But that's
right.
another story for another time. But Colton, what about the Knicks and Pacers series?
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is with the Knicks, the way they are, it would not surprise me for them to go and beat the Pacers at Indiana there on the next game, and then turn around and lose game 7 at home. Like that, to me, that would be like the Knicks thing to do.
Well, in the previous, remember, I don't know if you remember me saying this, but they are like 0 for 4, 0 for 5 in closeout games at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Like usually they do it on the road.
Yeah, well, that would not shock me. I mean, for basketball's sake, I'd love to see the Knicks do it. I just think it would be a much better series between the Thunder and Knicks. I don't think either the Knicks or the Pacers would beat the Thunder. But the Knicks, to me, I actually, let me say this. I actually think that the Pacers would probably give the Thunder a better competition because I think they are built more similar, given like a team that they don't have necessarily that superstar. Halliburton, Siakam's kind of those roles, but they're just filled with a bunch of role players. And in my mind, I just think that I think they've got a better chance of giving the Thunder a series, but neither one of these teams are going to beat the Thunder.
I'm cracking up right now. I don't know if you saw me live. I'm watching the post game show.
Are you looking at Towns on his sandals?
Carl-Anthony Towns has his sandals on, and the camera zooms in on his feet. And I don't know. I know Mason Shirley, you know this too, but I don't know if y'all keep up with on X and all this, but they give him the hardest time ever about how he is this. Well, I don't know what the word, but like how he says all this. Like he changes his voice on a lot of things. I was just cracking up though sitting here because they zoomed in on his feet, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? All right, go back to so Mason, Knicks Pacers. Can the Knicks come back? And who would you like to see the Thunder play? Go ahead.
So I don't know if the Knicks come back. I do think that they're the better team. It's going to be tough to win there, on the road, game 6. But I mean, they very well could. I do think they're the better team, and they've outplayed them, like you said, Dylan, most of this series. But I feel like the Knicks all postseason, they just have these lapses where they go scoreless or they give up so many points. They get down double digits almost every single game, and then they're just clawing their way back. So I think I don't know if it's because they're not deep enough. I haven't really looked at analytics or anything like that on it, but maybe it's when the guys they sub in come in. That's when they go through these droughts, losing momentum. I don't know what it is, but I think if they can eliminate some of those, people always say basketball is a game of runs. So if they can just eliminate some of those, I think they can come back, but it's going to be tough. I would like to see the Thunder and the Knicks in the finals. I just think that'd be a more entertaining series to watch. Those two just, Like you said, Dylan, Knicks, I feel like are good for basketball. They're good for the NBA. It's exciting. They haven't been good in a while, so now it's exciting. It's something new. It's something fresh. But I'd like to see the Thunder and the Knicks in the finals, and obviously, I don't think either one of these teams beat the Thunder.
Agreed, 100%. Mason, I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but would you like to lead us into our third topic of the Tour Championship changing of the format?
Sure. Yep.
Go for it.
So, just came out this week that the Tour Championship has changed their format for this year. And previously, it was formatted in the way that the overall winner in the FedEx Cup points for the year started at 10 under par. The second ranked player started at 8 under par, and so on until the 30th ranked player started at even par. But they just changed it this week to be like a 72-hole stroke play event. So everybody starts at even par, and you play the days and see who has the lowest total at the end of those 72 holes. So, Colton, what do you think about this change of the format? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
So I have mixed feelings because I know several people didn't like how they started out with strokes and some of that stuff. They just thought that was kind of weird. But like I just have before that format, because that's how the last one was. They started out based on where they finished heading into East Lake and Tour Championship. If they were number one, they started at 10 under, and then like second place would be like 8 under and 7, and that bunch would be at like 3, 2, and then like even whatever else. And the time it was before that was just off of whoever had the most points by the time the last tournament finished. So like the last time we saw that was like Tiger won the Tour Championship tournament. Justin Rose finished second, and that actually put Justin Rose points wise at having the most. So he won the FedEx Cup, and yet like Tiger won the actual tournament. So they were celebrating both of them at the tournament. So they were like, we don't need to be doing this. Like we need to celebrate the winner of the tournament, the winner of the FedEx, all of it need to be one, which is why
That
they
was
moved
in
to the other format.
2019,
Right.
is when they last had that.
Which is why they moved that format to that. And so that way it would, one, benefit the guys who had played. And so that's where I'm at with it. I do like that, yes, the winner is still going to be whoever wins this tournament is going to be the FedEx champion. I do not like, though, that there's 52 weeks in a year, and I would say I'd have to look up, but I'd say there is a PGA tournament probably 40 of those weeks at least. Pretty close. I mean, they're from about mid-November through December is about the only time they don't have a PGA tournament. So the fact is, Scotty could play in every single tournament of the year. He could play in 40 tournaments, and he could win 39 of them. And whoever wins this last tournament is going to be the FedEx Cup champion, according to this. Think about that. He could win 39 tournaments, and whoever wins the final tournament gets to be the FedEx Cup champion. And that, to me, is and it's one thing because, like, Scotty was getting a head start on the rest of the field, which is, like, what a leader should do. So there should be some advantage. But now you're starting at even par, and the last tournament of the year determines the one who wins the FedEx Cup. We're talking about something that, like, no one has ever won 3 times. Well, did Rory win it 3 times? Has he
I
won it
believe
3
so.
times now?
I think he won it 3 times.
But Tiger was the only other one before Rory won his second one that had won it multiple times. And so, it's a special thing to do. And so just the fact that someone could win 39 tournaments and whoever else wins the final tournament of the year could be the FedEx Cup champion, I don't know that that's the way to do it. But there's no really easy way to reward it, I guess.
Bill?
Yep. Yeah, I hate it. I mean, I hate it. It makes no sense logically. I'm gonna feed off a little bit off Colton, but so and I've been waiting to talk. I mean, in the ads on any of the FedEx Cup ads that come on the golf tournament, CBS, NBC, whatever channel you're watching, it says the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. It's not a season-long race anymore.
Nope.
So I'm not there with there has to be an incentive or something for winning these tournaments. Like I'm fine with them taking it out, but like that's not going to solve who the FedEx Cup winner is. Like, just make it a regular tournament, and that doesn't determine who the FedEx. Like that don't make, like, you have to get rewarded for winning. Like, there's not, like, it makes no sense. Like, even if you get to that point, what is it? It's the top 75, then top 50, top 30, something. But at Eastlake, it's the top 30 players. So the fact that right now Scotty Scheffler is winning in the FedEx points, the fact that Scotty Scheffler is leading and is going to be starting at the same as whoever the 39th player is right now, it makes no sense at all. It's like winning. Like, what's the point? Like, let's just throw out the whole FedEx in general. Let's just play tournaments. Let's just have the majors, and that's it. And that'd be it. Like, it just don't make sense to me. I hate it. I really do. Like, I thought that the 10 under, yeah, it's not fair to some guys, but hey, if you want to start at 10 under, play better. Like, I mean, that's just what it is. That's what it comes down to. So I think that this was a huge mistake of the PGA. I do. I hate it. Like, it's just 2 strokes for the second place. And it's only in Eastlake is a place that 10 strokes can go away like that. Like, if you've not watched it enough, like, and you can also it's a gettable course, but it also can punish you. It just don't make no sense to me. I hate it. I do, because there's no reward for winning now. So I think that, like, total screw up. They should not have changed it. It was fine, I thought. People are going to hate whatever you do, no matter what. People are not going to like it. You can't please everybody. However, though, it was better than what they're going to do now, and it was better than what Colton said they done before. That the fact that Justin Rose still won, like, and Tiger won the tournament, and like it was kind of a fiasco. So now it's just back to that, I think, because you can't tell me that if Scotty Scheffler ends up being, or Rory ends up being at the top of the FedEx Cup and they don't win this year, that they're not going to have some type of feeling of, if just say a Hideki comes out and wins. And like, now Hideki, the man won one tournament. He's not done anything since then. And here I am, won 3 times, 4 times, however many they will win by the end of the season. And I have to start this, like, it just don't make no sense at all.
No, I agree. And Colton, I guess I didn't know about what you said from before. I didn't really get into golf till probably 3 years ago, seriously. But 2019, you said, was the last time they did that previous format compared to the most recent. So, in this, I guess the recent format where they started at 10 under, did they still celebrate the regular season and the FedEx Cup champion there? Or is the regular season still awarded right now, or is it just the FedEx Cup champion, like the overall points, and then?
So like like Dylan said, like the top 7. It used to be they used to have 3 playoff events and then the tour championship. They got rid of one of them and made it top 75.
Right.
I think, and I think it's top 75. Then it's top 50.
And it goes top 30. Week, yeah.
And it goes top 30, and that's based on the FedEx points leading into the playoffs, like where you've accumulated points. And then they base your score off like who is leading got 10, then it went to 8, and then when it got to like anyone from like past, like anyone between like 12 and 18 had the same score, and then like 19 and 25th place had the same score, and then the rest were even par. But they've made it now that they did that. So like if someone is even par to start the tournament and comes and wins that tournament, then they crown them the FedEx Cup champion. Like whoever wins Eastlake is the FedEx Cup champion. So they get of course, that is one thing they are changing. The last couple of years, the prize for the FedEx Cup champion is $18 million. Or something like that. The FedEx Cup champion. Now, what they're going to do is distribute that money over the entire playoffs. So now, like the FedEx Cup champion isn't just getting the 18, which is why it made it so. That's what I'm saying. Like they had to do that though a little bit, because now if the 30th place guy comes in and wins, not only does he become the FedEx Cup champion, he gets the $18 million for winning one tournament, and Scotty and Rory have combined to win $18 million after winning 6 tournaments or something like that. I mean.
And another thing I want to bring up, and I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this, I can't stand either, is they decide to do this halfway through the season. Like if I'm a player, I'm very frustrated. Like especially for the ones who won and are like in the top of the FedEx Cup play the
Yeah.
points. Like why did we not do this at the beginning of the season? Like because now like I just take a Seth Straka who's won. Has he won twice this year or once?
I think he's won once,
Okay, or just take a Ben
but he's
Griffin
been
who's
there,
won
yeah,
twice, who is like, okay, I'm finally up in
and leading
FedEx points
now.
and leading now. Like this is like a good. This is his by far his best season. Like oh, we're just halfway. We're done with two majors, so we're at the midway point. So now we're halfway. We're just going to say, okay, now we're going to switch it. That's terrible management.
Yeah,
Like, you can't do that halfway through a season.
yeah. And you
Like
would have
that'd be
thought that
like
like someone like Scotty would not be for it. Like I did see a comment where he was like he thought it would be good for the tour going forward. Like he was pretty like he was okay with it. But in my mind, you can't tell me like he won it last year,
I
like
know.
because of this format.
Yeah.
And I mean, so you can't tell me that he's not like in favor of it. Like he's got to be
Well,
in favor of it.
that's what I was gonna say. I've been reading like most of the players are actually like happy this is happening. Like Scotty
Well,
said
I'd say
something,
most of them are though. Like the one,
Right.
like
Because the
but
there's
ones that
only
are
a
chasing
select. Yeah, there's
Scotty,
only a select few. Like your Scotty, Rory, Colin Morikawa. Who else is usually at the Xander? Like those guys who are guaranteed pretty much year in year out. So for the past 3 or 4 years, who have strokes because they have performed and they've earned those. Yeah, if I'm like the 30th player, I'm let's do this. This
yeah,
gives
they
me a
don't.
better
I
chance.
don't want to be behind 10 shots starting the Scotty.
Yeah.
but Scotty came out and said he supported it.
No,
He
I
said it
know
was
that's
Oh, I know. I
uh,
just it don't make sense to me because like this
uh,
is the format that like he had a dominant season last year and he got rewarded for it.
yeah.
And like if he'd
He would have
if
if they'd have started even Colin Morikawa would have won. I think he shot the
exactly.
lowest round. Yeah.
And so like Colin Morikawa was talking about the format last year and how he wasn't a fan of it because of that. And so like for Scotty to come out and say that, I'm like, you'd had a dominant season last year, and Colin Morikawa would have won that tournament last year,
I think
and he would have been the $18 million.
yeah, I mean I know there needs to be some type of reward for being like, season long, the season total at the
well,
end
that's
of
what
the
I'm saying.
season.
It's not a season
But
long anything anymore. So
I
take out the
know,
season long. It's
but
just
I
a
think there needs to be some middle ground. Like I don't like the strokes. I put everybody even, but celebrate the guy who had the best season, right? So make the payout some of that for the overall season total, and then you have this tournament where everybody starts at even par, and then you can crown the FedEx champion off that. Like if they come out and win that, they've been playing best all season. They should win it, right? They're the favorite. But I just feel like I don't like the starting, 10 under par, and then you have other guys who are 4 under or 6 under. Like it's one weekend of golf. Let them go out there and see who can play the best golf.
well,
To me, that's just
whoever wins the FedEx, whoever has the most points, just give them a buttload of money. There you go, fix it like that.
that's what I'm saying. Like have a regular season,
Winner,
FedEx
yeah,
Cup winner,
I
and
could
then
live with that,
yeah,
and then set it for the playoffs and like redo the points or something.
sure, yeah.
Like
You could do the three.
the top
Yeah,
75 get in. You
they get
pay
the
your
regular
season
season,
long
then
winner,
everybody goes to zero, and those
and then
three
everyone goes to
tournaments
zero, and then
determine
you have three tournaments that accumulate or something like that, and
it.
accumulate score if you want
Yeah,
to. I don't care if you accumulate points, but accumulate the score if you want to
yeah.
over three tournaments. And so
I like that
I
idea.
something or to me, I think if the only way to solve the current format, if you're going to keep it somewhat the same, I think you almost have to do I don't know how you do it, but you almost have to make it like a match play type format to where, like, at the very least, if you're going to put Scotty in a tournament, let him play the 30th ranked player in a match
That'd
play.
be that'd be
You
interesting.
know what I'm saying? Like,
That
let
would
him
be
do match
interesting.
play. Like, if he's going to do it, like, if I got to start at zero against someone after I've dominated all season, let me at least do it in match play against a 30th ranked player or something like that, and then, do that. But I don't know. There, I mean,
Tell
everything will
Jay
always
Monahan to
change.
give us, or tell Jay Monahan to
Never
give
mind
us a
that.
call.
Yeah, come on. We'll
We
get it
got
rolling in the right
ideas.
direction.
All right, we're going to
Board
stay on the
member here.
topic of golf though. Colton, kind of shift gears and talk a little bit about Liv. Bring us into that topic for tonight.
Yeah, so I don't know if y'all have seen, but there's been these different reports about how Liv came out and said that they will not be giving upfront money this time on the new contract renewals. So obviously the big thing when LIV started was, man, they're getting guaranteed $500 million. Rom and DJ and Phil was getting 150 and all this stuff, and it was upfront money. It was like, hey, we're going to give you 150. You come over and play for 3 years, right? And now all of a sudden, Liv's come out and like, we're not doing that anymore. And why do you think that is? In my mind, it's because they've probably lost a lot of money. I mean, they've not. You talking about they probably thought they got all these stars. We'll pay them and we'll make up for it because these stars are going to come over and bring a lot of fans, and we're going to have a lot of sponsors, and we're going to have a lot of these things, and they'll be worth it. And now essentially they're like, we can't do that anymore because we lost a ton of money because we don't have viewership. We didn't have the sponsors. We can't get official, like we can't get world golf ranking points. Our stars are 40 something outside of about three of them. Like the guys that they originally brought over to be like Phil, Sergio, right? Like all these guys, they're old, like Bubba, like they're older, and I don't blame those guys for going. But like, I have a desire to turn over and watch Bubba Watson? Absolutely not. Like no desire whatsoever. So so I understand it, and that to me is the beginning of what
The
will
fallout.
be the fallout because like
Yeah.
now when these contracts come up, like Bryson's is up next year and Brooks is up next year, and I think DJ's is up next year. Does it become a man like let's just go back to the tour? Like because if I'm gonna have even if they offer me a $300 million contract, but they put stipulations in there that like I have to play in all these tournaments and I can't be injured and I can't do this in order to get this money. Like I've done got my money up front. Like they've already been paid enough to be
Set for
set for
life.
life.
Yeah.
So why not go back to the tour if there's a pathway for them to like if the tour allows them to come back after their contracts? Now Rom's locked up a little longer than these guys, but I think that's what's going to happen. I think if the tour can find a way to allow some of these guys to get back on somehow, whether they pay a fine, whether they do some qualifying, whether they do something like that, then the tour does not have to merge with LIV. I think the tour is fine. I think the stars aren't going to leave now. I think they're seeing what's happened. I think the tour is increasing money. I think the viewership is up. I think a few of these stars are hearing these rumblings of the LIV guys maybe wanting to come back. And so I think if there's a pathway for a Bryson to come back, a Brooks to come back, and eventually down the road Ron when his contract runs up, I think the PGA Tour looks to go that route, and then LIV, dies out and it's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with. I mean, whenever Liv came about, I was a little excited. I was. I remember texting like I was intrigued. It was intriguing to me because
Dylan said, "Take that money."
I did. I
He
mean,
said,
I
"I'm
still. I mean,
taking it."
I don't take that back though. I mean, like take the money.
I
Like
would have
why
too.
not? I mean, like how in the world do you not take that money? I mean, I know it's all about legacy and stuff, but I mean, we're talking about money that can you will do well yourself, your kids will
Your
do well,
kids.
your kids, and then your kids, and then even your kids. Like I mean, like that's like money that's like out there. But now, how long has Liv been going on now? 3 years? Is that right? 4 years?
Probably 4 or 5, I guess
Okay.
now.
Well, I guess 4 years. I'll mention it right there for you.
Yeah,
I have not watched any. I've watched a hair of just whenever Bryson, like when Bryson was leading, I turned it on just a little bit to watch him a little bit. Um, but other than that, it's not something I want to watch at all. It's not entertaining. The broadcasters, like I can't get into it at all. And I've early on I was kind of into it. Like those first 2 or 3 tournaments, I was like, this is interesting. I like this. And then the more and more I watch the PGA, the more and more I'm like, okay, this is golf. I don't want to watch that nonsense.
yep.
And I think that talking about paving the way back to the PGA Tour, I think the PGA Tour is going to be very careful on who they let come back and how they let them come back. Do I think that they should let Bryson back and get him back? Absolutely. They will make money hands down if they can get Bryson DeChambeau back on the tour. I mean, that's a no brainer to me. Now, I know it may sound silly, but for me personally, like a Brooks Koepka, he's one of those guys that I'm just like I don't really know it. Like obviously we can't offer something to Bryson and then not offer it to Brooke. Like you got to be, but if we're talking about what players are the PGA Tour kind of eyeing to make sure we get back into the affiliation of the PGA Tour, Bryson is really the only one that I can just automatically think of right off the top of my head. Maybe Joaquin Neiman, like he's a really
May
good, yeah,
and maybe Rom when his
yeah. But
But
I'm just
contract
talking
comes
about, but
but
up.
I'm
Yeah,
talking
Rom's
about right now, like his contract. You said, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, Rom's the only one who has like a long term deal right now,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Right.
He's kind of stuck unless they just die out
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah,
Poor Rom.
yeah.
but that's kind of my thing about it. I mean, I don't know. I, I will say this though, and I'll end it and let Mason talk. Whenever Liv did come about, and I saw that they had signed DJ, and then they was getting Bubba, then they got Bryson, and even before they got Ramen, they had Brooks. That wave of guys. I kind of was, and I think a lot of the people in the golf world were kind of like, is the PGA Tour in trouble? Like, is this for real? Like, is Liv about to take over? Because I was very, it was very eye opening because uh, the PGA Tour had never seen something like this, and they never had to go so-called war or like go face off against another tour. So it was very interesting, but I never would have dreamed that the PGA Tour would have um, came out the way they have. Just year in every year, it seems like they're fine. They're totally fine. But that's my take on it. Mason, go ahead.
No, I mean y'all pretty much summed it up. I've never when it first came out I was intrigued, like you said, Dylan, but I don't think I've ever watched a single live event live. I've seen highlights and things like that, but I don't think I've ever turned on a live event. I would love to see some of these guys over there back on the tour. Obviously, I think all of us would. But I think we're nearing the end of live. Especially with I think they had a meeting sometime back in February at like the White House to talk about joining and kind of becoming one. And I think the Saudis didn't like how that meeting went, and now this is coming out. I think they may be starting to accept their defeat here, and just we can't compete with the PGA Tour. We'll slowly start to dismantle this golf league. So I think it's coming. I don't know how soon, like you said, coming. Some of these big guys' contracts are up. I think next year. And once that happens, I mean, I don't expect anybody new to sign at this point. Why would you? You know. So
Right.
once these guys start, it's just going to slowly. People are going to start dwindling out, and I think it'll die out here in the next 2 to 3 years.
All right, well, let's stay on the topic of the PGA and end it on this for the night. So, as of right now, we have completed day one of the Memorial Tournament, also AKA Jack's Tournament. This is played at Jack Nicklaus's design course in Murfield Village Golf Club in Dublin, Ohio. One of the classiest tournaments of the year. This tournament, by all means, is supposed to test all parts of your game. There's been some reconstruction, not last year, the year before, maybe. And none other than Jack Nicklaus himself designed it. He's designed a lot of courses, so he definitely would probably take great care of this one because him and his wife, is it Barbara? Is that her name? Uh, they really they love this tournament. You can tell if you watched it ever before. They're there all 4 rounds. They do a lot of work in the community. But just something interesting that I want to hand over to y'all guys. Murfield Village, and I'll look this up and then kind of do my own little thing, is widely regarded as one of the more challenging courses in golf. And the reasons why is because of the rough, the approach shots to the very, very small greens. And then it's also considerably pretty long, maybe 7,600 is what I think I've seen that it was measured at. And it also, I didn't know this until I was looking into it a little bit more, but it says that pretty much all the par fives are very tough par fives. They're not like just easy gettable birdie par five. Like they are very challenging and makes pars feel like an accomplishment a lot of times. So, um, obviously, we know that Scotty Scheffler is the past winner. He won it last year, beating Morikawa. Right now, though, after day one, you have, as we've mentioned before, Ben Griffin having a great year, coming off a win last week. And then before that, he had won the tournament in New Orleans. But then you also have Colin Morikawa, who is at 5 under. Ben Griffin is at 7 under. Colin Morikawa at 5 under. Max Homa maybe starting to find a little something here at 4 under. Shane Lowry 3 under, and then followed by also a lot of 3 unders. I will want to say this so we usually record our episodes on Wednesday nights and release them on Friday mornings. However, we didn't get to do that, so we're recording it tonight on Thursday night. But I did have Colin Morikawa at my very top for my not sneaky pick,
Uh-huh.
sleeper, but I did
Uh-huh.
have him at my top because he performed very well last year against Scotty in this tournament. But man, just Ben Griffin in general, playing some really, really good golf. Best of his career. Colton, any thoughts on him? I mean, he's lining it up. You've talked a lot about him before because you've picked him before. He puts in a lot of birdies you talked about before.
Yeah, he is. He's a good player. He can do a little bit of everything. Solid around the greens, pretty consistent driver of the golf ball. He's just something that he don't necessarily wow you, but he's just one of those that when it's all firing, you don't necessarily have a weakness. So if he can just kind of get it in the zone there, I mean, he's got a little bit of everything going, and I mean that just produces really low scores. And it's like anything else in golf. These guys get some confidence, right? And you're talking about a guy that swings every day, and you're hitting multiple balls every day. So that's the thing about the amateur golfer. You could have a great round, and then life gets in the way, and you may not play for another 2 weeks. And you come back out, and it'll be completely different, right, than how you played 2 weeks ago. These guys are winning a tournament and turning around and hitting 1,000 golf balls the next day, right? Like I mean, that's what they live. So if you find that zone, you find that swing, right, and the repetition that they're putting in, I mean, that's just it's easy to go. It's the same thing. The putter gets hot. Well, I show up the next day and I made everything yesterday, and now all of a sudden that hole seems a lot bigger. And so Griffin's kind of in that zone right now, and we've seen a lot of guys go through that. Right, Scotty's constantly in that zone. It seems like, but Homa had his time there, where it seemed like Homa was going on streaks, and some of these guys have been like that several times, where you see them 3, 4, 5 straight tournaments. Straka's kind of been like that this year. Just some of these guys, when they get that groove, they find it. So, look, Griffin's trying to make a case for the Ryder Cup team.
I was
Obviously,
going to bring that up.
it accumulates over 2 years, and obviously he was okay last year. But you get a third win in a signature event. I mean, I don't know how all of a sudden you start like really keeping him off of it. But it's a great tournament. It's a tough challenge. I love tournaments to seeing lower scores. 7 under on this course is so good, right? I think even par is like tied for like 16th or 15th or 14th, something like that right
Yeah,
now.
even par is tied for 14th, and it's a slew
Right.
of them. And then you
Yeah.
only
So
have and then you only have 3 1-unders. Then you
yeah,
have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 2-unders. Then 3 3-unders, a 4 under, 5 under, and then a 7 under.
yeah.
So I mean, like like 7 under, like you said, that balling.
That's a ball. And keep an eye on Scotty. He fought back, finished 2 under right
Yeah.
there.
I'd still
So
probably bet on him to win.
yeah,
I think he's favored right now, and
he's
he's
still
5 back.
favored. My boy Ricky had 6 birdies and 6 bogeys. Or no, he had 6 birdies. He had 6 birdies and still shot even.
Oh, that's not good. All over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, Mason, did you get a chance to watch some of it today?
I did not.
I
No.
didn't much either. But just what are your thoughts on the tournament in general? Anybody specifically talk? Just anything you want mention?
Yeah. No, like you mentioned, I mean, I really like this tournament. It's one, obviously it's a signature event, but it's one that I really like to watch every year. I think it's a cool course, tougher course. You don't see you guys going super low. But I mean, one of the things that you brought up, Colton, Ben Griffin, making the Ryder Cup team. I think if it were to finish, like exactly how it is right now, I think he'd be ranked third in the FedEx Cup points, if he were to get this win. So, I mean, he's he's climbing up there. He's hot right now. So who knows? Are we looking at maybe a potential next star coming out of the PGA Tour? He's getting hot. I don't know his game that well as probably you do, Colton, but I mean he's definitely caught my attention. Did y'all see? Have y'all heard the story about him?
I
About how he
literally
was like,
was I literally was searching it up and going to tell you because I'm like he was a mortgage broker
so
for a little bit,
basically,
and then
yeah.
a
So
guy bought
basically,
him.
he started on the tour, and then he wasn't playing well. He said he'd maxed out his Amex, and so he quit playing for a little bit, and he went to work at some mortgage company, and he said the CEO of that company, I guess, or some company, um, was like, "Hey, you're too good at golf to not be playing on the PGA Tour, so I'm just going to pay for you to play on it." He started paying for him, and he was, singing him praise, saying he owed everything to him, and he was how grateful he was for him. But I thought that was a pretty cool story. How that CEO just stepped up and was like, "Here's 150, 200 grand. Go play on the PGA Tour. You're good enough for that." And now here he is. If he wins this, he'll be top 3 in FedEx Cup points this year. So pretty cool story there.
But that's also just a testament of literally of how hard it is to be successful
Oh
on
yeah,
the pit. Like on like how many great golfers in the world. I mean, you're talking about a guy who is playing the best fall of his life and had to leave because he wasn't playing well. And that's how easy it is. Like we've talked about this before of like whenever you're down and you're not playing well, and it just speaks to how great again, how Scotty and Rory, like when they're down, they're not like that, like the Max Homa, who's finally starting to maybe find something. The Ricky, who was down and about for years, and then 2 years ago started playing really well at Spieth. 2 years ago started playing well again. Like golf is a game of like whenever, and I know all of us have been through it. I mean, uh, I have. I know you all have as well. Like maybe not to their extent because we don't play for a living, but like some days you go out there and it's just like, what is this foreign object in my hand? And then other
It's
times it's
finally
just
me.
like other times it's just like another day in the office. Like you're there, everything is clicking, and it's no different. Now, obviously, it is different in the sense of what they're clicking and our clicking is. However, though, it it's very cool that whenever these guys who are on tour, like I don't know if you ever seen, it was either this year or last year, like Billy Horschel, they done like an interview with him, and he was like, I have no idea where my golf ball is going. I am just ready to end this round and get in the clubhouse. Like, been there. I've been like, it's cool to like understand, like, yes, like even the best golfers in the world have those days and have those weeks and have those possibly months where they just are searching and searching and just trying to find something.
I agree. Uh, that's I mean that's every so right there. It's
Colton's
speaking
like,
right to me
"That's
right now.
me."
Speaking right to me. I'm searching. Got
Well,
everything. I got a
we're gonna
freaking
we're
search
gonna
warrant
find it
out,
tomorrow. We're gonna find it
and
tomorrow.
it's gone.
I'm gonna give you
It's
some.
this up here, but look, I mean that's how it goes, and you got to keep going. But now look, it's a difference, But I have those times when you do find something, and I could play 3 or 4 days in a row, and I could feel like I could go out there and shoot a good score 4 straight days in a row when you find it. But there's also right now I'm at a point where there's not a time. I don't think I could go out and do anything right now to break a certain score. Like I don't think I could shoot in the 70s if I wanted to. You give me 10 straight days, and unless something happens, that thing's not doing it.
Come on,
It's
Bulldog, you can do it.
just hit it.
Keep
But like I
together.
said,
We're
these guys
gonna
get in
we're
the
gonna
zone.
work on it tomorrow.
They get in the zone, right? You win the tournament, and if
Yeah.
you're and instead of us, like I said, we could go 2 weeks after our best round and not touch a club. They're turning around the next day and hitting golf balls again, right after they just won a tournament. So how confident does that range session feel, right? Like I just want it swinging like this. Now let me hit 1,000 more balls to gain even more confidence.
Yeah. It's a lifestyle, that's for sure. Shout out, I hope he listens. Shout out Trevor Brown. Our
That's
roommate,
right.
room 302, gets married this weekend.
Yeah, Hannah, we wishing a happy couple. We're excited. We're heading up tomorrow. Me, Dylan, and Mason. We're all in the wedding along with Chance, our other roommate. We're playing golf
Big.
tomorrow before the rehearsal dinner. But we
That's right.
did want to give a shout out to the happy couple.
That's right.
That's right. Gonna be a good weekend.
Oh yeah. Always a good time with the boys. As always, though, go Cats.
Go Cats.
The Cats.
That's a wrap for this episode of Bluegrass State of Mind. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, be on the lookout for our social media pages and be sure to follow them. We've got plenty more stories, insights, and conversations coming your way. And if you really loved it, make sure to share it with a friend. From the hills to the hollers, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep that Kentucky spirit strong.